Pica Poco Kitchen. Today I'm making Mexican noodles 2 ways. Vámonos! This noodle recipe you can find at any given time in any given day in any Mexican household because they are the favorite of everyone. Kids love them, elderly love them, the youngsters and millennials, the boomers, everybody loves these noodles in something we can agree on. They're also the ones you go when you're feeling under the weather, when you're feeling nostalgic, or when you just want something satisfying and filling, but you don't want to cook that much because they're very simple to make. And I don't just have one version of them, I have two. One that is a classic, the one that we go to, but also I have the one that can be dressed up, that can be fancify a little bit, and can be used to serve next to other dishes. So let's get to it. We're gonna start in our blender cup. I'm gonna add 2 Big Roma tomatoes. Try to get them as plump and red as you can. Add also a quarter of an onion and 1 garlic clove. Help your blender with just a little bit of chicken broth or a little bit of water and take to the blender. In the pot in your stove, add a little bit of oil and wait for it to heat up. To that you're gonna add 1 tablespoon of onion or more if you prefer. I like to chop it medium, but this is optional. You can go as fine or as chunky as you want. I like to feel the onions in the texture of the soup. And to our sauté, I'm also gonna add 1 garlic clove. I like to go finer, but you can go as rough as you want. Hey! And once the room starts filling up with these homey smells, you can add half a tablespoon of tomato puree. I like to add tomato puree to intensify the tomato flavor, and it also helps if the tomatoes that you added aren't as ripe. Sometimes, let me share with you the secret, if I don't feel like doing a lot of washing or I don't have enough Roma tomatoes, I just use 1 full tablespoon of tomato puree and it does the trick. And the secret ingredient to make this Mexican noodle pasta, even though it's Italian, is vermicelli. This is a pasta that we use. It is a very fine and short pasta, and I like to use half a pack. That's the brand that I get, but there are other brands available that you can try. And we're going to fry the pasta, so if you need to add a little bit of more oil, do so. And make sure to mix well with the tomato paste so everything is coated. Now we can add the tomato mix that we had in our blender. Give that a stir and make sure that the pasta gets coated and mixed well with all the flavors and liquid from our soup base. Let it cook for a little bit right before we add the rest of the liquid. When the soup base is integrated, we can add the rest of the 4 cups of chicken broth. If your chicken broth is well seasoned, then you don't need to add any extra salt and pepper, but always taste test and adjust. And of course, as always, you can substitute the chicken broth for veggie stock or beef stock. Allow your soup to break into a boil, and you'll know it's ready when she starts smiling back at you. Can you see that? Or am I just going crazy? I don't know. But now your soup is ready to be served. Of course, allow it to cool a little bit unless you're desperate and you want to burn your mouth. I like to serve mine in a mug with a handle and, of course, add some lime to it. Perfection. For version number 2 of our soup, we're gonna start in a pan with oil in the stove. And we're gonna add a quarter of an onion and 3 garlic cloves. We need to achieve 2 things. First, we want to infuse the oil with the flavors and aromas of the garlic and onion, but we also want to soften our garlic and onion just a little bit and maybe even achieve just a little bit of fryness. So once they're ready, transfer the garlic and the onion to your blender cup. And in this aromatic oil, we're going to add the other half of the vermicelli. And you want to fry the pasta in this oil. I like to let it sit there, move it from time to time until it starts even changing color. And while that happens, we're gonna continue making the sauce for this pasta. In the blender where I have my garlic and onion, I'm gonna add 2 Roma tomatoes that I chopped in pieces. And the secret ingredient is going to be 1 chipotle pepper. Of course, you can add more. To that, I'm gonna add 1 cup of chicken broth. Again, you can substitute that for any other kind of stock that you want. And we'll add it to our fried pasta. Mix well until all the sauce is well incorporated with the pasta. At this point, my heat is on high. I want to get to a fast broil. As soon as I start seeing bubbles and the liquid is slightly reduced, I'm gonna lower the temperature to the minimum and cover my pot for 10 minutes. You can check it at 10 and maybe allow it to go for 15, but mine was ready at 10. Now you can give a gentle mix to your pasta, and now your pasta is ready to be served. What I like to do is serve my pasta in a little bowl or ramekin. I allowed it to cool a little bit and then carefully go around the edges of your bowl and flip it over a plate. You could use some plastic wrap as well to help you. Add some queso fresco or any kind of cheese and some avocado pieces. You can also drizzle some crema or even sour cream. And here you have them. As you can see, with 2 different presentations that can be used in very different purposes. Let's start talking about the soup. This is a classic. It can't go wrong. And let me tell you something, my sister makes the best noodle soup there is. And I don't know if this ever happens to you, but somebody makes a dish and it's delicious. You ask for the recipe, you get the exact same amounts, exact same steps, but in the end, it just tastes better when they do it. Why is that? I don't know. But I mean, this is as close as I can get to hers. This is, it's just perfection. And when you're making it, immediately, it takes you home. It's like your childhood home. That's the smell. Now, this one is not for me, but let's give it a try. The texture of the fine noodles elevates the classic spaghetti, if you know what I mean. And that chipotle, it just gives it this complexity that you cannot skip. And accompany it with some avocado and cheese. You can also add some cream to it. This is very delicious. I think I'm gonna have to cover with an avocado the big bite that I gave it. This for the husband. I don't think he's gonna be mad. So good. Next time you're feeling nostalgic or you want a nice, easy soup, please give it a try. I swear you won't regret it. And if you like this recipe just like this video, please share it with your friends. Like, subscribe, and be notified. And for more, follow me on the socials. Adios, amigues.